Yeah, I think many of you already going through our playlist where the big data organization playlist, right? So this is not exactly the training session actually, because here we can say in one word knowledge sharing session. Okay, uh, it should be vice versa. Like if I have, I'm actually I'm also explaining few topics every week. But if you people also interested to explain any topic, you're welcome. Okay, that is a way we have to learn together. Okay,
Mhm.
so, but agenda is to learn, new technologies with some hands-on, and we have to help each other, by sharing the knowledge. Especially, we want to cover big data tools like PySpark, especially, and Snowflake and Hadoop. If possible, we also cover in a future talent as well, but the agenda is to whoever is coming to the field or whoever already have experience but want to transit into data engineering side or big data engineer. So for them we are trying to give some guidance, like because of we are already working in that sector, so whatever we know we'll try to guide you. It's not limited, but consider this is one of the source. Definitely you will find some new things and may be useful for your career growth. Okay, so let me share my screen and tell you. See, actually, many of you already have the knowledge on Databricks and the topics also. Some people already have a knowledge in PySpark, so you for them it may be refreshment. But please bear with us. This session is for others also who doesn't have the knowledge on the specific topics. So today I want to cover two or three topics that I told you, especially how many of you know this Databricks? We can practice our Spark or SQL or by using this Databricks community. I hope you many of you all are already have the knowledge on this, right?
Yes, sir. I'm aware of this data commit.
Okay. See, we have a multiple ways of practicing this Spark, but ultimately in real time, right? Definitely, uh, we follow two methods to execute the PySpark scripts uh, in real time our projects. Like one is a general way to create a jar file and execute by submitting Spark submit command, and that is one way. But majority of the cases that we are using. See, we definitely, if we use Java with Spark or Scala with Spark, we have no other option. We have to go for jar build. But when we use Python with Spark, right, there is a advantage. We can save the file in .py and then we can execute in a shell by triggering the shell script also. You no need to create any jar file. Okay, we can use Spark submit and then file path and then other parameters like driver memory, executive memory, ports, etc., etc., and we can run it. That's it. That's very simple when we use Spark with Python. Okay, but you can opt any one method as per your business requirement or as per your project requirement and go ahead. Okay, but this Databricks is a community is a free edition where we can practice our Spark without any hassles, right? So if we want to practice in our own environment, then we have to install all the software. Sometimes we will face so many issues because of software incompatibility or lack of resources, etc., etc. But whereas this Databricks, we can use like a SaaS, like software as a service, where you won't find much issues, because for as a developer, right, as I've been telling every session, you don't invest your valuable time on installing the new softwares. Okay, you invest, but don't invest too much time. You have to focus on more on development activities, because in real time also nobody asks you to install any software because there is a separate admin team will be there in each company. So as a developer, we no need to install in single software. That is, you have to note that point. Okay. Okay. Coming to the topic, if you see. First of all, I want to start from the basics. This session is more related to hands-on. I didn't cover any theoretical session, but yeah, going forward, definitely I will try to explain the theory concepts also. But ultimately, the practical is very important. Okay, in real-time working purpose. So last week I already covered how to install this Databricks Community Edition and we can use it for lifetime free as of now, and you don't need to put any amount from your pocket. And also explained when function, how to use, and with column function. If you haven't attended the session, please go through our recording sessions and whatever there in our playlist, Big Data Online Session playlist, where you will find the all old recordings. Okay, so today I want to explain three topics. May take very 10 to 15 minutes each. And as you know, since we are using free Zoom session, it will limit up to 40 minutes from the start. So that is the reason I sent a 2 requests. So as and when we disconnected this session, immediately I will jump to session 2. So I request you to also please join the session 2 whenever this session 1 got closed. Okay, and coming to our topics, I will explain how to upload a file here. Files, especially because to work on any hands-on, if you want to do any hands-on, then definitely we need data, right? So I will tell you how to upload, files and how to create. Let me open this. See how to upload, how to list files and remove files in Data Community Edition. Okay, I mean, also I will try to tell you how to create our specific, directory in this part. Okay, so because this is a little important to start our next topics, so I want to cover this first, then we'll move to next topics. Okay, so please let me know how are you able to follow me now, or is this clear so far? Shall I move forward? Please unmute and you can say yes or no. If you have any
Yes.
questions.
Yes, Naresh.
Okay. Okay, fine. Right. So let me see. This is a actual command where we have to use in Databricks to find out the files. Okay. Before that, I will try to tell you how to upload a file. Please bear with me. This cluster is getting up because if you see here, when I try to run any shell, then it's making, because the cluster, it was now it went to sleep mode or suspended. When we try to trigger, then now it's making up. So please wait some time, but let me go to home. Meanwhile, see, here is the option. You can import and export the data from here. Okay, so if you want to see, this is the default path. This is the default path of the Databricks. If you upload any path files, it will go to this path first. Okay. Other than that, if you want to make your own directory, then you can also do that. I will let you know that. I will try to cover that part also as part of the session. Okay. Now, for your information, I already uploaded a few files. Let me tell you that. See here. I uploaded 3 files and created 1 directory. Okay, these are the files which I have uploaded and in this path. Okay, this is the GUI where we can see directly how many files are there and what are the directories which are present inside this folder. So yeah, to see this, first of all, we have to go to here and then come here. Okay, so now I'll tell you how to upload a file. Just click on this and let us say there's a test1 file is there. Just upload it. See, uploaded. Okay, and see, if I uploaded file path is also there. File store, tables, and test1. This is the path. if you want to go and see here, we can able to see this file. Okay, and we have two options here. As of now, I'm not explaining this because we are not going to create any table on top of it. But here they already given option. When we click on this, then create a table in Notepad. Automatically, it will create a table on top of this file. So you can also access the data, by using general, table query, SQL query. Okay. So since our intention is to upload a file now, then I just uploaded. And if you want to see, then you can go here. You can go here and see. This is the test one. Just now we have uploaded. Okay, this is how we have to upload a new file. And coming to this one, right? Yeah. Okay. Now we learned how to upload a file. Okay, and see, we can also list files from here. Okay, this is a command like fsls. This already in Hadoop also similar commands we have seen. So, but this is a syntax to list the files in this folder. Okay. Now let me run this. There is an option Shift Enter. You can do it, or you go here and run shell. So this also will work. See, in this specified path, right? We are able to see these files, right? Just now we already saw. This is the directory, and these are the all files. These are the files. So this is how we have to see inside this directory or folder. Okay, now we learn how to list the files as well, and we can also create a directory. See, this is the commands. Just in place of a list, you can ls, you can make the rs. You have to use this command to create any directory. Okay, and since I have already created this, let me create output. Output is not there as of now, but when we run this, then our own directory will be created. So it is true, showing true. Let me run this one, this first one again. We'll see whether it is reflecting or not. The output also reflecting. Okay, so this is how we have to create a directory, and we cover this directory also. Let us say, I want to remove one file. For that also we can do. We have to give the full path. Let us say just now we have uploaded, right? Let me remove this one. Okay, so to remove, right, just we have to place in place of ls, just we have to use rm. Okay, and just run it. Let me see. Manila. Okay, sorry. So it got deleted. Let me go and again list this. Then because this one is already deleted, right? So now we should not see that. See, now this file, whatever we have been uploaded earlier, now that got deleted. So this is how we can delete. And let us say if we have multiple files, we can remove in a single shot. Okay, for that I just use a small function in Python, and this is I just given the path. Okay, by using this, and then I just return a for function for I in file path. I'm just I'm not removing because I want to use this file going forward. So that is the reason I just commented this. But when you uncomment and run it, right, So it will automatically delete all these files in this path wherever we have mentioned. But whether it is working or not, let me run this command. But here, if you see, just I'm printing whether all it is rotating or not. Like we can say, let us say we have 4 right or 5 right. So the 5 should be displayed here. See, I'm just using 0 because I am just considering as a list. I'm picking first element from the list. So out of this, it's picking only this. Okay, this part. See here, we have total 5. So if you uncomment this and uncomment this, then when you run after that, then definitely all this will be removed from this folder. Okay. Yeah, I think I covered the first topic. Hope this is clear. If you have any questions, please let me know, because these are the small basics to move and to cover other topics. Is this clear?
Yes, Naresh.
Okay, please let me know if you are not anybody is not clear, so that I will give you an answer. Okay.
Naresh, I have a query. Is it specific to DBFS database community, the files which we are creating the directory and removing the files?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, this is Databricks only. DB means Databricks only. Okay, this is specific to Databricks, because those who want to practice in Databricks, they should know all these things, right? So that is the reason I just explained.
So is there any difference between community edition and then enterprise edition, or almost it's equivalent?
Let me tell you, actually, I didn't work on enterprise version because we have to pay some amount for that.
Okay.
Definitely will cover in future if I practice on it. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
May not be a big difference, because since native is Databricks, right? So may or may not, you can see. If you see any difference, then very, very minor. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, guys. I think we covered this topic, and we have almost 10 minutes left, and I will try to go next topic. So this topic is also maybe it is also very easy, but and it is very important. Without knowing the syntax, then it is very difficult to continue rest of the topics. That is the reason I picked this. Okay, right. So select. I think many see, we have a domain specific language and SQL language. So the beauty of the Spark is they're allowing us to work on any. Okay, so if you are strong in SQL, then you can go and use SQL, and you can do your work. Also, if you want to learn, a DSL, like domain specific language, by using this type of syntax and all, this is also fine. But performance wise, yes, both are almost same. You no need to worry. Okay, you can use any one in real time also, because we are already using. Okay, but good thing is, if you understand this syntaxes, and it will be very, very useful. Majority of people will use this DSL only, domain specific language. So it's not mandatory, but recommended. Okay, so now this is already explained. It's very easy how to create a data frame out of CSV, but this is not our topic. But to practice and rest of the topics, then we have to create a data frame. So I'm going to create a data frame. Also, I will tell you how to pick a single column or multiple columns by using select, and also we'll try to use a call function to select specific columns, and also we'll see all columns anyway. Star, when we use star, we'll get all the columns. No need to worry. And by using index also, we can try to pull our selected columns. So these 4 topics that I will explain in this chapter. So this is very simple. This is a path we already seen. This file is already present inside this path. We just now saw. And this is a very easy command to create a data frame from CSV. And okay, we have 10 minutes left. So I'm just rerunning this. Let me first of all I will run and see how many. Okay, cluster is not up. Okay, just running it. Actually, this file is having 1000 rows. We may see 1000 records. Well, I think many of you know the difference between the show and display. This display, right? When we use this display command, we'll see this tabular format. Okay, and now we are seeing 1000 rows because of this file contains 1000 rows, and these are the columns. So it's very very watchable and readable when we see data in this format, right? But let me hide this and unhide this one. Okay. So you will see little variation. This is a difference between this display and show. Okay. Here, if you see the columns which are extracted, which are not fitting into this window, are coming to other line. So it is a little difficult to understand the data of these, especially these columns and these columns. So that is the reason in this session, I will use display instead of show. But of course, in this we can see only for the development purpose. Anyway, in real time, we won't use this display, in our case. Okay. So I'm just writing again. I'm running this query. So these are the columns already in this file. So we are able to see 1000 rows. Okay. Now, how to select a specific columns from this? See, we have several methods to choose specific columns or all columns from a data frame or a table, right? Let me unhide this. And I want to execute in front of you for each case. Okay. So I want to select only one. Then just use select and give the column name inside the string. Okay. See, this is how we have to pick out of this number of columns from data frame. Okay. And similar way, let me this one also. See, I'm just selecting more than 2. What will happen? We'll see. This is the first one. This is the second one. So it's very easy, but yes, we will use widely this syntax. So please remember the syntax. In SQL, right? How we will write? Select column names from table. That's it, right? But it is since it is a domain-specific language, these are very, specific to Spark or specific to Spark syntax. So knowing this is very good. Okay, and so this is other way. The same output we will get. Whatever the output we'll get here, we'll get the same output from here also. Let me run. Either one, anyone you can use. There's no problem. See, the same output, right? Finally, I want to tell you one more method to get the select. Okay, this is the list way, right? So generally we pull the data of list by using this, brackets, square brackets. But we can also use this type of notation to retrieve our columns. See, I'm trying to take only 2 columns. we'll see. See, 2 columns. So you can use either one. You no need to stick to one. Whatever you feel better based on the requirement, you can go ahead and practice it. Okay, it's a very simple, but believe me, by seeing this, you won't be perfect. Okay, please practice it. Then only you will. If whenever you do hands-on, then only you will get more clarity. Otherwise, you will get issues or syntax errors. So that is how. And we can also use call function. Okay, we can also use call function to retrieve the columns. Okay, so here we no need to use data frame because we have already using data frame, and instead you can use call function. But call function we are importing from the SQL functions. So the syntax is very much similar to here only, but in place of df we are using call function. The call means column. Okay, let me run this one. See, by seeing it, you may think very simple. Yeah, but definitely you will make some mistakes when you do first time. Okay, so you will get perfect only when you do hands-on on this. So it is also very simple when you know this syntax, and I'm not explaining much. And of course, when you do without these also, you will see all the records. But for a standard practice, when we use in SQL, right? So we generally use this type of star. So you can run, you will see all the columns. Okay, you can see all the columns. There's no much difference between these two and this one. Okay, and coming to index, how to use index to pull the specific columns. So very much similar. Whoever is already have the knowledge on matrix or indexes or list. So definitely it's very easy. And if you see, this is the syntax, right? Like I want to take the first 5 columns and 3 rows. Then for that, I can use this. And coming to this one, I want to select only 3 columns. I mean 3 to 10. Okay, I want to see only 3 to 10 columns from my table for 5 records. Then what we can do, let me comment this and run it. See, this is it brought all 5 columns like invoice ID, brand, city, customer type, and gender, whatever is there here. Okay, so 5 columns we got it. Now let me show this one also. So when we give this one, right, so what it will do, since the indexes will start from 0, it will take 0, 1, 2. Okay, my intention to pick from city. That is the reason I given 2. If you want to pick from this customer type, you have to give 3. Okay, let me run this one. See here, from city to total. If you go and see here, city is a 3, right? These are 10. So this is how you have to pick the specific columns by using index as well. Okay. Yeah, I think this topic is very small, and yeah, but this is only for your understanding purpose I'm explaining. If you have any other method which are available similar to this, you can go ahead and do hands-on. Okay, is this clear?
Latesh, I have one doubt. So, what is the difference like if you use column function? Because it is giving the same output without column function, right? df dot any column.
Yeah, like you can feel like see here, you can feel
okay, it is one of the
my methods only. Methods only you can use as your own, nobody will ask you. Okay, but when you see, sometimes you won't see this call function inbuilt here, right? We have to do specifically, we have to import it. But whereas when we use here select, it is already inbuilt. Okay,
yes.
So based on that, you have to select your decision. Okay,
No.
but I'm not saying that you have to use this one only. No, based on your requirement, you can go ahead. Okay.
No.